Atkins Civil 3D video series, Base 3, Labels. This video illustrates A. Use Add Labels icon in Annotate ribbon. B. Add labels to an object. C. Label appearance adjustments. D. Label orientation. E. Label glyphs. F. Station offset versus station offset fixed point. And G. Reference Civil 3D objects. Labels are very critical to a construction drawing. It is very important to have well-designed, concise labels that convey the meaning and intent of the various objects in a drawing to agencies, contractors, and others. Civil 3D makes it very easy to incorporate labels into the drawing for an object when it is created and to add labels after it has been created. The text data in a label that references some aspect of an object, station, elevation, etc., will automatically update as modifications are made to that object. The labels will always be correct. There are numerous types and styles of labels in Civil 3D. When a Civil 3D object is picked, the context-sensitive ribbon tab associated with that object will automatically be displayed. The Add Label icon is generally located in the far left portion of the ribbon. Some context-sensitive ribbon Add Labels icon contain a top and bottom part, while others contain only a single part. The parts are displayed when the cursor is moved over the icon. The Profile context-sensitive ribbon Add Labels icon only contains a single part. The Add Labels icon in the Annotate ribbon contains both a top and bottom part. The top part allows a selection of features, the various label types for that feature, the various label styles for the label type, and a marker style. The bottom part and single part icons use the previously selected parameters for the label. If the previous label style is known and desired, choosing the single part icon located in the context sensitive ribbon is faster. However, for the added flexibility in selecting the various label parameters that are available, it is better to select the top part of the icon in the Annotate ribbon for the initial creation of labels. To illustrate, additional profile view labels will be created for the center line. Pick a profile view, pick location for the label, pick location again. Pick the profile for the elevation. Pick additional locations along the profile for the label. To select a specific location, enter the station 2450. Enter. Select the location for the label where the X intercepts the profile and pick. Escape to stop the command. When a label is inserted into a drawing, the appearance and all aspects, text size, layer, orientation, leader, etc. of the label are controlled by the settings of the various parameters contained in the Label Style Composer for the particular label style selected. One or several parameters of a label may be modified in the Label Style Composer prior to or after the label is created. Expand Profile View, expand Label Styles, expand station elevation, right-click centerline, edit. The Label Style Composer dialog box is shown. There are several tabs available containing the various styles associated with the label. After making any modifications in the Label Style Composer, depress the Apply button so that the modification will be applied to all previously created labels of the same type. Orientation is one aspect that should be taken into consideration when a label is created. The General tab in the Label Style Composer contains a Behavior section in which 3 orientation preferences may be selected: Object, View, and World Coordinate System. Many label styles use View orientation and many others Object orientation. View orientation uses the plan orientation of the monitor at the time the label is created. Many Civil 3D objects are created in the world coordinate system with the monitor plan orientation set to that coordinate system. When plotting, the plan orientation may be modified, whereby the plotted drawing will be orientated to the paper. In such cases, the orientation of the labels created with view orientation will be oriented to the paper and not to the drawing. When these type of labels are created, the monitor should be orientated to the plan view in which the finished drawing will be plotted, so that the relationship of the label to other drawing objects will be as intended. Where the orientation preference is set to object, the label will remain orientated to the object regardless of the plan orientation during plotting. Labels contain glyphs that are used to move the label to a different location. The diamond glyph is used to change the location of the label along the object. Any object reference data that is contained in the label that is affected by the location of the label in its relationship to the object will be updated as the label is moved. The square glyph is used to change the location of the label away from the object. The object reference data contained in the label will not change as the label is moved. The appearance of this label and any leaders associated therewith at the changed location will conform to the drag state settings contained in the label style composer. The round glyph is used to restore the label to its initial default location and appearance. This particular label style does not contain a round glyph. Several label features contain multiple and single segment label types. The multiple segment type is used to create labels for all segments of an object at one time. The single segment type is used to create a label for only a single selected segment of the object. Without depressing the escape key, additional segments of the object can be selected for additional labels. Alignment labels contain a station offset and a station offset fixed point label type. For the station offset labels, if the alignment is modified after the label is created, the insertion point of the label will move with the alignment modifications based on the station and offset data associated with the label. The station and offset data will remain the same as originally inserted. For station offset fixed point labels, the insertion point for the label has to be picked twice, once for the station and once for the offset. The label is inserted after the second pick. If the alignment is modified after the label is created, the insertion point of the label will not move, but the station and offset data associated with the label will automatically update. Generally, it is more desirable to select a station offset fixed point label than a station offset label. Many label styles contain a reference to a Civil 3D object. At the time these labels are being created, the label will contain 3 question marks for the referenced object along with a prompt on the command line to select the appropriate object. An example is the profile view station elevation TC BCR with grade. Add. A prompt is indicated to select the profile view. A prompt to specify the station. I'm going to pick an arbitrary point. To specify the elevation, this is the location for the label. 3 sets of question marks are included with this label, which means there are 3 references to a Civil 3D object. The first reference is to select profile for the elevation component, the second is for the grade component, and the third is for the station component. This example had several references to the same object. There are some label styles that also reference other objects. A separate command line prompt is shown for each referenced object to be picked. A label that contains question marks after it has been created indicates that there is a problem with a label reference. Either the label was created prior to the reference object being created, or the label style was modified to include or change a reference to a Civil 3D object. The procedures to correct label referencing errors are: 1. Pick the label, not the object, to be edited. The Control key may be used to select several similar labels of the same type at the same time. And 2. In Properties dialog box, select the appropriate reference object from a drop list. When a label contains more than one reference, each reference is selected separately from a drop list. Where there is only one or few labels with question mark, it may be easier and quicker to erase the label and create a new label in its place rather than trying to correct the existing label. Watch the next video on using the Label Style Composer to create or modify the label styles. This video is a part of the Civil 3D video series created by Gerald Atkins of Atkins Engineering. Visit www.atkengr.com for instruction manuals, tutorial drawings, template drawings, and Civil 3D videos.